Lindsey Graham is mad as hell, and he's not going to take it anymore. He has reached the breaking point with American law enforcement. He's had enough of the heavy hand of law enforcement coming down way too hard on American citizens, and it took a lot to get Lindsey Graham this mad. He never said a word about what happened to Rodney King when he got arrested, and he has never demanded a hearing on use of police practices in the Senate Judiciary Committee, abusive police practices. But his breaking point came today when he wrote a letter to the FBI to complain about the way Roger Stone was arrested and to demand answers from the FBI by next week about why they arrested him at all. Why didn't they just call his lawyer and tell him to come down to the courthouse? Tonight, Donald Trump told a right-wing media outlet that he too was bothered by the way Roger Stone was arrested, but he's always bothered about the style of an arrest when it involves his political associates and friends like Roger Stone and Paul Manafort. President Trump doesn't think the FBI should ever bang on their doors in the pre-dawn hours if they are arresting a Trump team member for Robert Mueller. Today, Robert Mueller's office filed a motion to restrict a Russian defendant's access to the prosecutor's information in the case. Standard criminal procedure allows defendants to file discovery motions to see the evidence that the prosecution has on them. But Robert Mueller's motion today revealed that discovery material already delivered to this defendant has been altered and used to try to discredit Robert Mueller's investigation. The special counsel's motion says subsequent investigation has revealed that certain non-sensitive discovery materials in the defense's possession appear to have been altered and disseminated as part of a disinformation campaign aimed apparently at discrediting ongoing investigations into Russian interference in the U.S. political system. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on the button below for more from The Last Word and the rest of MSNBC.